Go to the main house.
Okay.
So, di ba ang gandang tingnan? Pag nag-gold yan, ay, ang ganda niyan pag naging gold na.
Yung gold at saka yung mga amount na after transplanting, yung super green.
Tapos the wind will wash it like parang nasa parang.
Saka early in the morning may ano siya, may may amoy grass na. Yeah.
Careful ah. Yung bolt niya.
I organized the construction of 10 of these in China in 2001. That's kind of what got me established as a marine surveyor.
Wow.
That's my industry.
It's a lucrative industry.
It's better than growing rice. You know, it's this is a cynical take on it, but basically it's redistribution of wealth. You know, all of our clients are rich people that it's their toy, so it's a big boy's toy. And you know, as an industry, it employs quite a lot of people. These solar lights are quite a game changer. I mean, all the small guys around now will have these as lights.
And it's cheaper.
It's cheap.
Cheap.
This is my incubator.
I mean, you want to put the light undercover. They're not as waterproof as they can.
Oh, DIY?
Yes. Halo-halo na ikog niyan eh.
Wow.
It works.
It works. Ganda, oh.
I do really like that Filipino the living room that extends into the lanai.
Yes,
That's
yes, yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, climatically, it's the right thing to do as well.
Okay, meron po tayong announcement. Pupunta po tayo sa Zamboanga City at Basilan next week. At tayo po ay magkakandak ng meet and greet sa Zamboanga City. Kung sino po yung interested na mag-join sa ating meet and greet, ay pwede nyo po akong i-message sa aking Facebook account, Buddy Gansenya. Mag-message request lang kung kayo. Or sa Facebook account ng Agribusiness How It Works. Ayan, pwede rin ho kayong mag-text sa 0917-827-7770. Ilagay niyo lang po yung inyong Facebook account at kayo ay aming kukontakin. Alright? Yung kasama natin sa Thailand, kami palang unang nag-visit sa inyo.
Si Luchis gusto pumunta eh. Gusto nag-group. Sa Kuya, gusto maganda po.
Because I'm doing editing for the rest of my life.
Yours that way?
I edit fast.
Yeah.
So in my one video, after all the preparations, the actual editing, I can do it in an hour.
Wow.
An hour or 2 hours.
Sorry, I need to take a Zoom call. So I need to do a Zoom call in about 3 minutes. Sorry. That's why I started eating. Can you please excuse me?
After working, what do we live overseas most of the time? I was teaching in UST. I taught for 1.5 years, hotel and restaurant management.
Oh.
Then I get back to Hong Kong, and I was not able to come back overseas. And they said, "Why did you not change your passport into New Zealand there or England?" I said, I think I prefer to be Filipino. Because no matter what, if you're holding whatever passport, you're still Filipino.
Pero New Zealand passport kayo.
Our children are. But for me, there's no need. If I want to go there or live there, I can just leave because of my family, right? But I did not change my passport. I lived in New Zealand for 3 months or something, but I couldn't stay there for long. Nagsasakit ako. Sobrang linis. I don't for the pollution.
Walang alikabok talaga.
Really, I got sick. So I got home. And then also because the sun is still up until 8 o'clock. I forgot the time. I'm still gardening until 8 o'clock. Until finally, I did it several times. And then I got home. I was sunburned. And my kid said, Mom, 8 o'clock is already night time, even though the sun is down. Na aga-aga nakaataas na yung araw.
Ano oras po? Normally?
Mga 5 mataas na.
5 a.m.?
So, thank you, Lord. Thank you po. We were living in Hong Kong for at least 7 years. And then we have moved up to Shanghai after ng handover. At the time naman, Shanghai was opening up for economics, foreigners, because China wants to do that. So we took advantage of manufacturing their boats dun sa China, and then nearby countries ng din ng China like Shoshan and things. And then after that, we went to Australia because Australia went on a economic boom then, yung pala naka-bubble. So if the bubble burst, go back to Asia. Everyone was buying, so nung nag-crash yung Australia, it was bad. The factory that we were managing, we have to close down, clean up. Pero from that, all those trips and all those living in overseas, it very, very eye-opening culturally for our kids as well. That's why I call them global citizen, because I was able to, they can see the difference, and they can respect the different cultures because they came from Muslim, Buddhism, communist and everything, and they were able to integrate. Yun lang kasi importante sa mga foundation. And then they learned also language. Yung mga anak ko, they can speak Mandarin. Ako, I can speak also. But just to go shopping. Magtawad ka lang, mahal. So, yun ang advantage. And also, because they can never tell kung inchik ako. Sabihin nila, ako ay inchik. Ako sabi nila ako inchik. O kaya, akala nila Thailander. Pag nasa Thailand ako, nakausap ako ng Thailander. Sa China. Siyempre, kabisaduhin ko sa kagad yung tawad. pag iniisip ko na, parang kailan lang. Ngayon, namimiss ko yung mga bata kasi parang kailan lang talaga yun. Yung mamimiss mo na sila. Yung parang kailan lang, di ba, nag-aaral. Tapos hindi ka na kailangan. They have their own lives. Di mo na yan makakasunod sa'yo. Uwi naman kayo. Mommy, I'm going there. I was like, okay. But yung isa nga nag-birthday nung 14, hindi ko pa sabi, umuwi ka. Kasi umuwi isang araw. Ang bilis naman I can still remember. Parang yesterday na umakit yan sila sa puno, tapos tawagin sila, kakain na, di ba? And then ako naman nakalimutan ko rin na 57 na pala ako. Akala ko 30 pa lang ako. You don't count it after that, di ba? Kaya, dati ang lakas-lakas ko pa, di ba? Baba pa ako dito, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, mag-garden na. Nagta-travel pa kami. Kasi siyempre, ilang days lang ako dito, magta-travel, mag-garden na. Uwi ako dito 8 o'clock, walang tao kasi ako lang. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 4 o' kaya ko pang akyat panaog yan, magluluto. Dating ko lang, hindi gusto ko hindi ko lang kaya. Sandali lang pala ikaw bata. Ikaw kaya mo pang magbiyahe-biyahe. Siguro yung driving. One of the things I cannot do even I tried. Ikaw nagde-drive ka? I can't. I tried when I was your age. I even tried learning in Hong Kong. I even tried learning in New Zealand. Pero nagagalit ako kasi bakit yung kalsada ng...
Drive and back.
I was just going to comment on how amazing it is with modern technology that I'm doing a conference call using Zoom off my mobile
that is
phone in the middle of the province. And 3 years ago, when we started living here because of the lockdown, I used to have to sit outside on the blue sofa to get a decent phone signal, and we were putting in Globe at Home external antennas and stuff like that. Now I can pretty well use the phone everywhere in the house. You're trying to fatten Buddy up.
He drives a lot. I was just telling him. He has to enjoy his daughter for a while, and then next thing she'll be traveling, decorating the world, and doing architectural stuff. That is the greatest thing, travel. At a young age.
So how far off 1 million subscribers are you? Have you passed 1 million
No,
subscribers
not yet. Something I need some more, something like 65,000 to go.
So how long do you reckon that'll take?
Probably three months.
Wow.
3 months.
Use your daughter.
Are there any other Filipino YouTubers that have got that many?
In agriculture,
No, at all.
oh, there are a lot.
Yeah.
They have something like the famous one. They have something like 10 million subscribers.
So 10% of the population.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. In agriculture, there's one guy in Zamboanga, but his niche, he's appealing to the Southeast Asia. So yeah, he's attracting a lot of Thai or Indonesian. But for Filipino audience, I guess I'm
You're
the leading. The leading.
And how long have you been doing it?
When I started to go seriously about it, it's just 2 years.
So
When I
what
say
were you-
seriously, that's the time I started posting one video a day. That's 2 years. Before I did that, I have something like 150,000 subscribers. In 2 years time,
Wow.
I was able to almost get 1 million subscribers in just 2 years.
What field were you before then?
Media.
Media.
I used to work with ABS, GMA, and other networks. But I work behind the scene. So I'm the one writing the scripts for my host. I'm the one researching for the topics. I'm the one developing.
Do you know Raul Bulalong? Raul Bulalong?
Yes,
Yeah,
he's my former boss. Raul is my former
client.
boss in ABS.
He's my client.
He lives in Palawan right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Actually, he's worth doing a story on.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of
He's doing, what's the nut?
cashew.
He's doing
Cashew
cashew
nuts,
nuts. He
yes,
set up
yes.
a plant to process cashew nuts.
Yeah.
And then Ichai's got the Calamansi farm.
How is he?
He's very
Is he
good.
doing good?
Yeah, he got a bow.
I haven't seen him. I mean, last time. I know we saw him December last.
Yeah, we went to his place with the cashew nuts.
Not last year, the year before. But it's quite interesting what he, how he discovered. I mean, this is rather. There's a lot of cashews here. There's a lot of cashew nuts here. It's like- and then he starts looking into it, and then he realizes that all of the cashew nuts were basically going to Antipolo to be processed.
Antipolo.
Yeah. And
But the nuts are coming originally from Palawan, and then it goes to
Busuanga is
Busuanga,
apparently-
yeah.
And this is the other one. The
It's one of his brother.
Busuanga has a huge.
Ooh.
That's
Kanya po ito?
That's from Ichai.
The wife. Pag pumunta ka doon, sabihin mo para sa punta rin kami doon.
I have to contact him.
Pag-giting ka namin.
I'll be contacting him
Yeah.
as soon as you leave.
Yeah, as soon as you leave, oh, you know, buddy.
Actually, I need to go back to him because I'm trying to organize.
He will be
something.
surprised
Yeah. Small world.
because I work as an editor, a video editor. So I work behind the scene. Raul is a
very
good
nice.
boss.
Raul is very nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Jeff Rocks.
he's fighting for us to get high salary.
He has a beautiful house.
He
in
probably needed a new
Palawan.
boat.
Palawan is a beautiful house. You mean you are into media, so you do a lot of, is it on publishing or on
No, mostly videos,
video?
TV show.
So you were editing your job,
Akit na
or
lang kami
Yeah,
ako.
in ABS, I'm a full-time video editor.
and that's why you're quick.
Yeah. In GMA, I'm the line producer. I research for the topic. I develop the content. I direct the shooting.
Do you know, have you ever heard of the Puno ice cream? It's a look, in Japan. Yeah, it's very, very nice.
So you're living in Manila?
Quezon City.
Quezon City. So, Metro Manila.
Yes.
So lots of driving.
Mm-mm.
It's always interesting when you got so many animals and you can start seeing the personalities. And you don't initially think an animal would have a personality, right? But the dogs, we've learned to expect it, right? But even the pigs and the goats all have different personalities. And
Yeah.
we had one pig before that was so clean. You know, if it was going to defecate, it would walk to the back of its stall. And then there's others that it's just, they're completely covered in tae.
So peaceful.
Huh?
Peaceful.
It's a good place to spend the COVID lockdown.
Or we'll be just hanging out here. We have a lot of folding bed. Some people ask me, can we stay over here? You just spread yourself. Anyway, there's no mosquito. Pull your,
This fishnet around the outside, we stayed at a hotel in Cebu once, and around their restaurant they'd hung fishnet. And when we first built this place, we had a really big problem with flies because there's a chicken farm down that way. Now that the trees have grown up, we don't seem to have so many flies, but it was terrible. You could not eat, even inside the house. There'd be so many flies. And then we put this around the outside. Initially, we just tied it up and hung it, and then over time, it got more sophisticated. But it makes such a huge difference with mosquitoes and moths and flies and birds, and
Bird
periodically
loves
the
to-
birds get in.
to poo. I mean, there you are, but just the poo is hard to clean. There are a lot of calisuchis around. They're grown up. They're all so small before. That's where all I pick the flowers. The smell. I have the champaka.
Champaka.
Yeah.
Champaka sounds like a South American mountain goat or something.
There's a champaka is the the mabango yung lalagay din sa parang ilang-ilang
Parang ilang.
but much stronger.
And that's also a Philippine species.
Yeah, champaka. This is also this tree is called it's a poison, fish poison ang ano yan translation. I got this tree when I did a charity run sa Paseco. Tuwan-tuwa ako. Nanghingi ako, tinanim ko. But it's also endemic to us. Ang ganda ng bunga niya. Sabi ko, almost all most of the tree, I have a story where I took it, or I pick it up. Or actually, there.
We went to Chiang Mai.
Yeah, I saw that.
know. Your pictures there.
So nice.
Yeah. Food. Yung mga prutas,
Food.
no?
Do
Yeah.
you think
Sobrang
that's?
ganda
do
ng
you-
plants, ma'am.
But do you think that's where they should have taken us?
Supposedly, yeah, I guess.
I think they should have, right? To me,
That's what we're talking. That's what our conversation with Sir Mike. If the group of us went to Chiang Mai, they will enjoy it more.
Really?
it's too long.
No, we enjoyed more in
It's more
Chiang Mai.
closer, right? It's more compact.
It's a small city.
Yeah,
It's a small city.
yeah. Whereas we covered some big distance.
Yeah.
Something like Davao, but a bigger than Davao.
Yeah.
There's not so much high-rise building.
Okay. Siguro yun na yung second trip nila, Chiang Mai.
Well, that's
Kaya
what they
lang,
should
ano.
do as a second trip. And I guess that's the other way of looking at it.
And the climate is better. Sunny in the morning, daytime, but
Yep.
cold at
Really?
night.
No, it's
Cold
high up,
at
right?
night.
It's quite high elevation, I think. You're probably not aware of it, but I think it's
It's not really high elevation, but that's Upper Thailand.
yeah.
So it's
Oh, further
near,
north as well.
yeah, in the north. So from Chiang Mai, there's another city. That city is the boundary of Laos
The Golden Triangle.
and yeah, the Golden Triangle.
You went there?
No, hindi na. But it's near Chiang Mai.
How long did you stay?
3 days.
Also from there, yung nagkahiwalay na tayo nung after nung ano, doon na kayo tumulo.
The following day.
I can understand why they took us to Nong Nok, but I actually think we might have had a better experience if we'd only gone to the second day's destination and seen more places in that area. Because as we travelled out on the bus, you could see there was so much, and all very close as
No,
well.
no. The thing about Nung Nung, because that's
Well,
why
it's-
they got the title of Inspired Learning.
Yeah.
And it made us quite different in how. No, this is a
Well,
different
it made you
vision,
think
huh?
big.
It's a big vision.
I think that was it. Made you think big, and that on that side of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very you can't quantify the experience without because
It's
you
so
haven't
good.
had the other one, right? But yeah, it did make you think big.
Inspired.
Yeah.
But even to make not to inspire us to such huge expectation, but even a quarter of that, because it's like, oh wait.
I mean, if you look at what we're kind of used to here, I mean that sunflower farm that we went to in this year, that's kind of what you're normally looking at, and actually it's only a hectare, right?
But also on this, you have to apply the intellect. They got no typhoon, so this one
Well, yeah.
is, you can do it like that. It's consistent. This is why I was saying to Sophia, if we're in Thailand, the difference is it's the same.
Well, you're not
There's
rebuilding
no
it.
adventure.
You're not rebuilding it every 2 years.
There's no change.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, Maureen. It's pretty hard going out dealing with that excitement,
yeah, it's so
but it's
tiring.
part of our life, right? I think the typhoons are actually really influential in how they've developed the Filipino culture and psyche. You know, the way you actually have to help each other. Because this year it was you, next year it's your brother or something
Yeah.
like that. And what I find really amazing is how narrow the band of damage is from some of these typhoons. Like the typhoon that came through December last year, from what I could see of the damage, was basically the entrance to Guapito Street and us, and a little bit that way, and then after that it didn't seem to be any damage at all. 2 years earlier, and so I'm talking about nearly 3 kilometers north to south. 2 years earlier, when the other typhoon came through, where the eye went over the top of us, the damage was at least 10 kilometers north to south. But even then, it's not that much. When you're like the American hurricanes, just absolutely devastating and really
Everything.
wide, really wide damage. They don't build their houses very well. Like they always keep building them out of wood and it breaks. But one of our staff that's living here now, they completely lost their house in that December typhoon. Because after everything blew away, everybody else grabbed the corrugated iron before they did. So that's one of the reasons they're back living here. The house blew away.
One of the trees that fascinated me before when we were living in San Lorenzo is ang tawag nila dyan, is ano ba yun? When there's a mumu, it's a banyan tree. What's in Tagalog?
Banyan tree.
Where is that?
Yan yung malaki na yan na marami ugat. Nakita mo yan?
Okay.
Diba sabi lang yung may
Yeah, the
ghost
ones that
lady,
have
ano
the
man
wood.
tawag doon?
Balete.
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 That's one of the species of balete. You know, that is spread by the birds because they eat the seeds and once they poo, they grow. And they grow everywhere. So sometimes
grow
it's in
everywhere.
your roof.
Roof, yeah.
In fact, we have to get it from our. So, pero hindi mo nabibili sa mga tindahan yan. Gustong-gusto ko yung the body and everything. So, before, whenever ay makikita ko sa kanal, sa Manila, uhukayan ko. Tapos, I try to plant it. But then they would not survive kasi I cannot get the very
The main
deep
root.
root, you know. So, probably I have several that survive. So, that's one of them.
One on the gate.
But now, because I have that, the tree spreads them easily. Could be anywhere. Pero when I have obsession, yun ang nangyayari sa akin, no? I have to have that. I have to find a way to find. So I'll have several that.
Ito po, itong tree na to with the fruit,
Yeah, that's
is that the one
April.
with flowers?
Yeah, the yellow. Yeah.
They call it yellow
April
shower.
April shower.
April shower.
And they'll have fruit.
So it blooms on April.
Yeah. Puro yan yellow.
Yellow,
Pag
yeah.
nag-ano siya sa malapit
You
na.
must see my episodes about Dr. M. Cercado. He's talking about the Philippine trees, native
Blooming,
species, and at the same time he discussed Philippine species for Sakura Park.
The ano.
Oh,
There are a lot of Philippine
Oh.
species that better than the cherry blossom.
We have
there you
that.
go,
Ano pa
Maureen.
pangalan nun?
You're
Meron
gonna have a
tayo nun
sakura field
Yeah.
I have one tree. Remember, it always gets blown by the.
in my forest. There's a sakura forest.
He given me a seedling.
Cherry blossom yan.
The name of the plant is Balay Lamok.
Oh yeah, I
Balay
have one.
Lamok. So
Ganda ng bulaklak.
he given me that. One time I'm shooting somewhere in Mekawayan. I saw a tree. It's full bloom, pink and white, no leaves, just full of flowers. I'm so amazed. So I took pictures and I posted it in my Facebook. And he responded, "That's Balay Lamok. That's the one I've given you."
Oh my god. Oh,
You
that's
just have to
very
wait
beautiful.
50 years.
It's some. He said 70 years.
70.
It's in full bloom after 7 years.
Meron akong isa niyan, isang balay lamok. Para, mahal kasing bilhin eh.
Pero malaki na yung Balay Lamok mo.
Hindi pa, maliit pa.
70 years.
Abangan ko.
I-enjoy mo na siya.
Pag nagbulaklak talaga, pag inalagaan mo, nako, nakakaano sa, ay sa wakas, bumulaklak ka na. I-invite ko si Sophie sa 5, sa aming Santa Cruzan. So maybe you'll be there as well. So we'll
It's
be,
too early. Santa Cruz na kayo, Feb pa lang.
Hindi, preparation.
Okay.
Sa May 5 yan. Preparation na. Kasi I'm with the committee. And so we'll be libot the
Maureen brings the average age down by quite a lot.
But ang
You
ano
know
ko,
the problem with mango? You either don't have enough fruit or you've got too much.
sobrang magbunga o kaya man di kaunti lang ang
Konti.
bunga niya. But for me, because I'm not making anything for commercial, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's mostly makes for when I want to eat it, and also for the shade for the animal and shade for us. But I wanted to create a forest na Hindi rin siya obtrusive. Kasi, I'm saying, what will happen here later on if my kids are not here? It's just us. We're a very small family. You know? And it's more of a, I want to leave something that can be benefited from, you know. Like yung mga native trees. Kasi wala na talaga eh. Yung karaway, tsaka mabolo.
Ay.
Daming
Mabolo,
kami
yeah.
dyan. And naguhulog. Ang lalaki ng mabolo ko, matatamis. So, every time na magbubunga yung mga mabolo, I bring it to UST. Yung star fruit, I bring it to UST and they all appreciate it. The karaway, said, oh, ba't meron ka pa nito, ganyan. Said, oo, pinaano ko yan. Iba, hindi nakilala yan.
Mabol is the kamagong tree.
Yes. Very, tigas nung ano niya, puno.
Kamagong. Ang mabigat.
Oo.
Mabigat.
Pag nagpo-prune kami, it's called ironwood. And you know what the fruit there that smells a lot?
Mm-mm. Walang tigil yung ano ng birds.
Iba-iba.
The only problem is now we've got a water pump running in the background as well.
Nagwawat. Mamaya kasi magdidilim na sila. Mamaya yung bandang alas 4, alas 3. Iba na yung tunog niya. Ang tunog niyan, ano na, nagmi-meeting na sila, may conference.
Ay, marami sila.
Oo, may conference call.
Oo.
Pag magko-conference call sila, yung sasabihin nila, saan ba tayo pupunta sa susunod? Ay, every hapon yan, conference call nila.
Oo. Maingay na
Oo,
sila.
dami nila. Thousands na yun. Thousands na silang nandiyan. Tapos mamaya, tatawag yung yung uwak. Pagtatawag siya. Nag-iisa siya dati ngayon, marami siyang kasama. Tsaka marami kami yung bird na swooping, yung naglalaro. Minsan lalaruin yung aso. Super rounded. So saan kayo mag-drive back to Quezon City?
Ano na, we'll go back to Quezon City naman.
Come back again, ha? I mean, not for to relax, but again, you're welcome to every place, ha? So, I'm sure. But just in case you're around this area, come back and
Yung nag-stand out sa akin today is that you can get a lot of pieces at the junk shop and turn it into a beatable pieces.
How about the tires?
The tiles.
20 pesos a tire.
Yung tiles sa baba, that's the vegan tiles, right? That's, saan mo nabili? Sa vegan pa?
I don't know if kung saan binili ng tito ko.
That was put in by your uncle, right?
Mm.
We were in Shanghai when that was put down.
All the houses in vegan,
I love it. I love
that's what
I
they're
love
using.
that tile. Beautiful color.
So when they asked me, why you build the house? I said the house just builds itself. I said it's just out of the area, but it's the aesthetic is we don't want it to be so bang. I want it to blend in. I said, gawa ka ng mansion sa gitna ng ano. Kasi sa amin, it's more about the space. Useful na space, not so much.
The space.
This walk-around balcony, when I was a child, like 4 or 5 years old in New Zealand, our next door neighbor built a house with the walk-around balcony. And even from that age, I kind of wanted a house that had a walk-around balcony. It does encroach on the internal space by quite a lot, but I'm glad that we did it. And the good thing about this country is that you don't have quite the same enforcement of rules and regulations.
Building permit.
But we have the
So
building
there's an
permit.
advantage also.
Advance to this and disadvantage.
You can take this off the record again. But in New Zealand, my mother, she extended the house that they had. My mother still lives in the house that they built before I was born. So it's now 56, 7 years. They've had the same house. She's had the same house. And she extended it to make an apartment for herself, and then my sister and her family lived in the original main house for a long time. Now my mother's back in the main house and she rents out the other apartment. And the property they bought is one of the back properties, so all around our property, her property, are other properties. She had to go to every single next door neighbor and get their permission to extend her house.
What?
Can you imagine? You have to go and talk to 7 different people. You only need one of them to say no, and you cannot modify your house.
And she has to modify it because she's age, accessibility.
I mean, I understand why it's that way as well, but I like the Thailand approach. It's your property. You can do whatever you want with it. You want to have
That's
a
what
scrap
you
metal
observe
merchant?
in the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's it's a community, and all of a sudden at the end in the river
Yeah.
there's a big
Wonder
restaurant.
about
Yeah, that was amazing, eh?
You wonder
That one
about
on the-
fire.
Yeah.
That place on the riverbank was incredible. Just like, it was just so bizarre. You're like, I mean,
But they live there. Do you know they live there?
yeah, but
The owner?
Yeah.
yeah, there was their house as well, right? And then with the hotel
You know where
around
the
it.
cashier is? There's like a price that's private. That's where they
they're
have like
living
the
upstairs.
apo, the ano.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, that was quite spectacular, that place.
I call it the owner is a hoarder.
The hoarding house.
We there was one hotel that we used to stay in, and I used to stay in Sukhumvit, and across the road was like a Forbes Park type house.
Mm.
Yeah, and then either side of it is like a 30-story building, and then there's this house that just looks like it could have been in Forbes Park. You're like,
That's why in here, we have the village, so that your property appraised, right?
Yeah.
Appraisal. You can't have a neighbor that says squatters they were building corrugated, but
and
there
I think
is
further down the road there was a scrap metal merchant, same area, guy doing scrap metal. It's like high rise. bungalow.
As long as it's yours, you can
yours,
do
whatever
everything.
you want with it.
That's amazing. That's why I'm saying the culture. I said it's very different. It's like I don't care, right? I don't care.
One time going back to my hometown in New Zealand, we're driving through the town and there was a house that was always canary yellow. And almost all at the same time we went, oh, she's painted her house. It was now lime green. But that was like one of the significant changes from when we'd been gone 2 or 4 years. And we come back and one house has been painted lime green. When my mother hears this, she will correct me and say it's not entirely true, because my hometown, I'm not sure about now, but it was the fastest growing town in New Zealand for quite a long time. But the sad part of that was it was growing by taking all the farmland. It was just eating up areas that were farmland when I was a child, and now, well, even our house was a farm when we bought it. When we bought the property, it was a farm that was subdivided, and one family that lived up the road, called the Gibsons, their house was the original farmer's house. Like China, it's the same thing. So much land is going to industrial, residential, huge percentage of the arable land. Oh, okay, we're guilty.
In China, they have a lot of ghost cities.
It's ridiculous, eh? I was talking with a client the other day on WhatsApp about that, because we both were in China at the same time, and I commented to him that I remember reading that at that point, and we're talking around 2003, Shanghai had a population then of about 12 million.
Mm-hmm.
There were reportedly 4 million empty apartments that were sold. So you could accommodate the entire population in the empty apartments. Just ridiculous. And then he said, it's millions and millions of apartments now. It's like thousands of millions, not tens of millions. But I don't know this. I don't know the real statistic, but
They just buy a
and they
product
never
that's
finish
good.
them. I mean, most of them never get finished. The developer never finishes the property. Apparently, he was saying that the ones that get finished, normally the state comes in
Move out again.
and bails it out and gets it finished. But
They said it's also expensive. The ordinary people cannot afford to
yeah,
buy
because
one.
it's all speculation, right? And there's around the same period of time, I read there was one high-rise development where one individual owner put 60 units on the market on the same day, and it's somebody from a third or fourth tier city. And in that era, they had nothing to buy in their city, so they were buying in Shanghai. So it's a bubble, but it's a bubble that's gone on for well over 20 years.
Nobody's leaving.
But the other one is that China's, this last 2022 is the first year where China's population declined.
Mm-hmm.
And partly because of the one-child policy,
Mm-hmm.
you've now got a very old population and a very small young population. But on top of that, it's not just the one-child policy, because that's been lifted, but there's now a culture that you only have one child because children are expensive. So even when we were there, people were like, why would you want 2 children? You already got one. 2 is expensive. So it's not that you can change the rule about the one-child policy, but it doesn't change the culture that children are expensive. So
There's no schooling.
they're talking that, I mean, one of the statistics I've seen is they're basically saying that by 2050, I think, no, by the end of the century, China's population will be down to about 850,000. So at 1.3 billion or whatever it is now, it'll be 850 million, sorry. So it's going to decline by nearly 50%, not quite, 40% by the end of the century. And that's assuming there's no plague, famine, or
Moving.
Each family, because they're only allowed for one child, all the families, they wanted their
Boys.
kids to be boy.
yeah,
So there are a lot of abortions
Yep.
happening.
yeah.
So now the population is almost male.
Yeah.
So there's there's no female.
Shortage.
That's
Shortage
even
of
worse.
female.
Yeah.
And they don't go into sports. They're very precious. You can't
Okay,
get hurt.
how's this for a really bizarre statistic? Coinciding with Tinder, apparently the under 30 population in America, 30% of men under 30 have not had sex in the last year.
In the US?
Yeah. Only 12% of women have not had sex in the last year, under 30. That's really bizarre. Which is, it's frightening, and apparently it coincides with the introduction of Tinder. The statistics started going that way.
What is Tinder, the book?
Tinder's the online dating app.
Oh.
But, I mean, I just find it incredible that their sexual behavior is actually driven by a phone app to that extent. I mean, it's beyond comprehension. And the other statistic is that apparently, basically they're saying that women now control.
But this is agriculture. It's so far off. Now we come to cyber sex.
He can edit that out.
Cyber sex, agriculture. Oh my goodness.
I think we have more than
Yeah.
enough, Mom.
That's, oh my god. So we can diverge.
I'll get a talking to later.
My the last typhoon,
Oo.
become my bonsai, big bonsai.
Oo.
Hindi ko na siya ginalaw. Yan na yung bonsai kong malaki.
I think, Mom, talaga, you can open this for just for reservations. Ano lang siya, konting guest, pero mas ano siya, mas pricey, kumbaga. Hindi yung Masa. Oo.
You want balimbing to bring? There's something different.
Gusto ko. Okay lang.
Well, I can't believe for how many years I walked past that not wanting to eat it because as a child it tasted so bad.
This is the first time you
Yeah, seriously, I never
you tried to eat
because,
it?
Like when I was a kid, it's like my father used to force us to eat it, and it was really bitter. I always say you stop learning the day you die.
Tama na po siguro. Plenty na.
It's Maureen's right-hand man.
Saan kayo dumaan dito?
Dito po.
Diyan mas maganda tayo dyan.
Okay. Dito na lang.
Buksan mo na para hindi siya mapuno.
Oops.
Where do you want your eggs?
The eggs.
Scrambled or fried? There you go.
Thank you so much
Uy.
po.
Alam mo, Sir Buddy, it's my pleasure. Actually, kaya may recruit na ako.
Baba.
When you do your editing, make sure I don't say anything that's going to get me into trouble with my wife.
Sige po. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Nag-enjoy po kami.
Ako din, sana next time. Marami tayo.
Yung ano lang, walang shoot.
business.
It's
Oo,
ano
wala.
lang.
Kaya nagulo ko sa sana ito si Nins. Kasi kung may gagawin ba ako. Alright, thank you.
Sige po, sige po.
I hope you were able to relax.
Yeah. Sige pa. Thank you.
This is a good time to travel walang problem. Kaya pala, yun lang yung drawing. Multo lang ha? Yung drawing lang.
Ha?
Multo.
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 Hindi yung mga drawing ng bata.
Tapos katabi,
Rice.
Bahay
field,
kubo.
tas may mountain, tas may bahay, tas may ganyan. Kaninong art yun? Umar Solo ba yun?
Oo, Amor Solo.
Amor Solo.
Yung farm.
We're going to Zamboanga City and Basilan. So, mag-shoot tayo doon. Marami tayong naka-inline na feature stories. And at the same time, magkakaroon ho tayo ng meet and greet sa ating mga subscribers na nasa Zamboanga City and Basilan area. So, yung mga gusto po na mag-join, pwede ho kayong mag-message sa aking messenger account, Buddy Gansenya, at saka sa Facebook page ng Agribusiness How It Works. Mag-leave lang ho kayo ng message, tapos kukontakin ho namin kayo. Pwede rin kayong tumawag doon sa number ng Agribusiness na laging nandito sa description box ng lahat ng ating mga YouTube videos. Okay? Available na po ang Agribusiness merch sa Shopee. Ang link nasa description box. Mamalengke online sa onlinepalengke.com. Your original, trustworthy online palengke. Thank you sa mga donors sa aming Give a Grocery to Farm Workers Project. For donations, contact us. Pwede rin sa YouTube Thanks. Just click the Thanks button. Agribusiness, how it works. Instruct, inspire, succeed.